Wyatt Johnston and his league-leading -17. Second worst in the league is Matt Duchene at -13 in these playoffs, and Jamie Benz at a -8. He is 6th in the league. So when you look at the top 6 for worst plus-minuses in these playoffs, 3 of the 6 are Dallas Stars. 2 of those 6 are Vegas Golden Knights, who got victimized by the Edmonton Oilers. So again, like, part of it is, and this is maybe where I'll start to just go back to the optimism side of things here really quick, right? Part of this is Wyatt Johnston's playing bad, Jamie Benn's playing bad, Matt Duchene's still not having a great series. But then you look at all those Vegas names. Jack Eichel's on the board for worst plus minus as well. 2 LA Kings in the bottom 10. Like 8 of the 10 worst plus minuses in these Stanley Cup playoffs are players who have had to play against the Edmonton Oilers. So at what point do you sit there and go, man, the other team's best players just continually don't show up against the Edmonton Oilers? The names on the list: Doughty, Eichel, Kempe, Ben, Barbashev, Theodore, Duchene, Johnston. At what point do you stop saying these other players are playing bad? And at what point do you just go, well, what's the common denominator here? Yeah. It's having to play against Leon Draisaitl. It's having to play against a blue line that has on their third pairing the league leader in plus minus in Jake Wallman. And plus minus flawed stat. Every stat's flawed to an extent. I get it. Expected goals. We did the whole bitch about that earlier on yesterday's show. But like, at what point do you just sit there and give flowers to the Edmonton Oilers? And at what point do you sit there, and I guess this is from my perspective, look at a 2-1 series lead for the Edmonton Oilers where they've got home ice back in their pocket. They've only lost once on home ice in these Stanley Cup playoffs. At what point do you sit there with the 2-1 lead and go, yeah, I do understand why this feels like more than just a 2-1 series lead?
I'm sitting here right now thinking, knowing why it's the way it is. And there's just a lot going right for Edmonton because they're playing just so well. And that's the thing for me is there was conversation yesterday online. I think it was Kevin Woodley on Gregor's show. It was like, Skinner's playing great. And he wasn't taking flowers away from him, but like, just the way they're playing defensively is incredible as well. Like, they're really limiting chances from Dallas. That game, that second period the other night was obviously in Dallas's favor, but Skinner made the saves in that moment. And in the other moments, their defense showed up.
They can morph into whatever they need to morph into, right? And we've seen it. Like, look at the Los Angeles Kings in round 1. I'm sorry, that Los Angeles Kings team was the best version of LA they faced in the 4 years. Yeah. And they had a 2-0 lead in the series and could have easily been up 3-0 or 3-1 in those 2 games at home. But they found a way. They dug deep, comeback wins, staying in the game, finding key scoring from different players. It's funny because Jack and I had a long conversation with Jack Eichel. We kind of cornered him one day in the room, and he was also giving us time, and he kind of went through, you know, in their Stanley Cup run in 23, he said, we had everything go right. I know we've talked about this before, but you have to have all these things. You have to check these boxes. And one of those boxes, sometimes you have to be lucky. Sometimes you're going to be good. And you just have to take that in stride. Each and every game is a totally different adventure. And this team's pretty good at resetting and saying, okay, let's go back to the drawing board here and see if we can be a little bit better in this game. And I think the final 4 teams that are in the mix have all had to do that in some capacity. You don't just get to the conference final by walking your way through everybody. There's some adversity. There's things you have to deal with, and you have to go out and make adjustments each and every game in your individual game, but also in your team game as well. And you have to also wonder what the opposition's going to do and be ready for that counterattack. So there's a lot of moving parts, but I will say this team can morph into what they need to. And when they need to be physical, they can. When they need to be fast, they can be fast. Skilled, we know they have that. They put it all together. It's a pretty good formula for success if they put it together. So that's what they're going to try and do in Game 4.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.